Good day, folks. Monday, 5th of December. Warm welcome to today's podcast. Following on from my previous discussion on Graham Hancock's Ancient Apocalypse on Netflix, I would like to look more at the self-appointed, or would-be self-appointed, guardians, no pun intended, of the official discourse or the official narrative. It's clear that several publications, not least the most notable being The Guardian, would like to, well, very clearly, would like there to be parameters of discourse, not within, okay, there is what's acceptable discourse. We're not talking about if certain races are inferior or if eugenics was a good idea. Of course not. That's we do have a reasonably acceptable discourse on such matters. However, the people at The Guardian would like the acceptable range of discourse to be perhaps much more narrow. And indeed, there is a precedent for this. If you want no better example, just look to China, where there is almost no discourse on if COVID maybe isn't quite as dangerous as people would have had us believe. We all found that out in the West. We can live with it quite nicely, regardless of anything what people like Neil Ferguson said. But there has been acceptable discourses on other matters. If we flash back to the Cultural Revolution, not just so-called capitalist roaders would be persecuted, but also anybody who strayed from the acceptable narrative in fields even such as science. Cosmologists were unable to research Einstein's relativity or Planck's quantum mechanics. Why? Because it didn't fit within the paradigms of dialectical materialism, the so-called scientific worldview embraced by the Chinese Communist Party and other so-called communist parties. So, yes, official narratives can be rather restrictive, and indeed, if we hadn't had Einstein or Planck, well, we wouldn't have had many of the breakthroughs in technology, science and engineering, or indeed much of a 20th century. And we probably wouldn't really have much of the 21st century just wouldn't be the way it is now. So not only this, it also stifles arts and creativity. Why has there only really been one Chinese movie to win Best Foreign Film and only one Chinese movie to win the Palme d'Or? And I say this as a fan of Chinese movies. But again, official narratives, official parameters of acceptable discourse do stifle innovation, and they do stifle artistic creativity. So I'm all for exploring new ideas, even bad ideas. For example, Yuval Noah Harari, the famous historian, would-be futurologist, also an advisor to Klaus Schwab at the World Economic Forum. He has proposed the wonderful idea of hacking human beings. No, I'm not being sensationalist. This is Harari's very own words: hacking human beings, total biometric surveillance. So would I cancel him? No, I wouldn't. I think an important part of ideas, even bad ideas, is to explore them and see for yourself if you think it's a good idea or a bad idea. So if you think that total biometric surveillance, as Yuval Noah Harari has proposed, is a good idea, be my guest. You're always welcome to sign up for it, but I think I'll be giving it a rather polite pass. So, yes, I think it's important that there is an acceptably open discourse, because the proponents of bad ideas, well, you don't really need columnists at The Guardian to really tell you what to think. People such as Yuval Noah Harari, they condemn themselves. I mean, if anybody really does want to be surveyed just to protect themselves from supposedly dangerous viruses, well, again, be my guest. So, why, again, going back to Graham Hancock, why are the writers, like I say, The Guardian, most notably The Guardian, but several others, why are they so annoyed? Again, it pushes forward the bounds of acceptable discourse. So, again, if it's archaeology today, well, it could be, election fraud the next day, or causes of 9/11 the next. I mean, I don't think any believers of Graham Hancock are going to be storming the US Capitol anytime soon. I mean, I don't see any need to storm a university's archaeology faculty, so I don't think any of my other fellow viewers have felt such a need. So this takes us full circle to what the left, or the so-called liberal media, are really about: setting the parameters of acceptable discourse, or framing it in a way that suits their narrative. So I don't really know, but you never know. Some people could be in favour of ideas such as total biometric surveillance or hacking human beings, as the wonderful Yuval Noah Harari has proposed. They may see it as a way of avoiding the risks or rolling the dice with viruses. Well, something we've always been doing, and I don't see why we can't keep doing it. But oh no, the technological utopians and other do-gooders would have it a different way. So let's remember, it's not just about acceptable discourse, it's also about framing things within people's narratives. So again, as I say, I'm all for exploring new ideas. I've even read Mein Kampf. I don't think it was a good idea, no. I think it contains some of the most horrible ideas in history, but I could explore it for myself and see that it was a bad idea, just as I could explore the book Homo Deus by Yuval Noah Harari and see that it's a spectacularly bad idea, that many of the things seek to basically demolish who we are as human beings. But why is exploring the possibility of a lost civilization such a dangerous idea? What's wrong with pushing back the boundaries of known civilization, that perhaps things are a bit older than we realise? Well, I would have to leave it for the people at The Guardian or Independent or other such publications to answer, but clearly many of them do not like any straying, any deviation from the official narrative. And that is what such people would prefer there to be, an official narrative. One which keeps everything within their, extremely illiberal worldview. So I would say to such people, The Guardian or The Independent, if you want an official narrative, one that's safe, closely guarded, and doesn't allow for new works or relatively original ideas to flourish, well, move to China. There you have a very carefully guarded official narrative, and I think that would suit the people at The Guardian very well. Well, that's all for today. Thank you all.